hush that falls over the world when the last rays of sunset paint the sky in gentle pastels, and the stars begin their slow, shimmering ascent. It is in this tender moment, when day gives way to night, that whispers become melodies, and dreams take their first, tentative steps. This is not a grand, booming epic, but a delicate, warming tale. A story like the froth on a perfect cappuccino, light yet rich, inviting you into its depth. It is the legend of Ballerina Cappuccino, whose head was a steaming cup of coffee, and whose feet were forever poised for a dance that nourished the soul. A story of finding strength in lightness, of grounding in grace, and of the quiet, watchful love that protects the purest art. Lay down, take a deep breath, and let the gentle rhythm of this story carry you into a beautiful dream. Part 1. The Spark of Grace, the Ballerina, and the Gentle Hum. Long before her name was sung in lullabies across moonlit glades, Ballerina Cappuccino was simply a whisper of warmth, a dream taking form. She wasn't born of the earth or the sea, but from the delicate balance of a barista's most heartfelt wish, a dancer's yearning for eternal grace, and the comforting steam of a perfect morning brew. One dawn, as the first light touched a quiet ballet studio, she simply was. Her body was lithe and human-like, draped in the softest pink tulle, designed for movement that defied gravity. But where her head should have been, there rested a pristine white coffee mug, always warm, always topped with a swirling pattern of foamed milk. A silent, comforting latte art that shifted with her moods, like clouds across a serene sky. Her existence was, from the very first breath, a dance. She moved through the studio with an innate elegance, each pirouette a poem, each plie a prayer. The air itself seemed to sigh around her, carrying the faint, comforting aroma of coffee and vanilla. Her voice was like the tinkling of tiny ceramic bells, soft and melodious, often escaping her in gentle hums and wordless songs as she moved. Cappuccino, Ballerina, Cappuccino. It was a melody of pure joy, of unburdened expression. But even in her perfect grace, a quiet question swirled within her frothy heart. Her dance was beautiful, she knew. It brought fleeting joy to the silent dust motes that danced with her in the sunlight, and the occasional sleepy sparrow that peeked through the window. Yet, she felt too light, too ethereal. Her dance was like the steam from her head, beautiful, captivating, but ultimately dissipating, leaving no lasting trace. She yearned for her art to have a deeper root, to nourish something, not just sparkle and vanish. She wanted her dance to be a hug, a comfort, a lasting warmth. The other studio dwellers, the grumpy old floorboards that creaked, the dusty velvet curtains that hung heavy, saw her as a delightful, if unusual, spectacle. Such grace, they'd sigh, such lightness, but none truly understood the yearning in her frothy heart, the desire for her delicate art to have a profound impact, to be more than just a passing dream. Part 2. The Silent Guardian, Cappuccino, Assassino, and the Anchor. It was in the quiet transitions between dusk and full night, when the shadows stretched long and secrets began to stir. The Ballerina Cappuccino was never truly alone. Always, just beyond the edge of the lamplight, a watchful presence moved with silent precision. This was Cappuccino Assassino. He was her opposite in almost every way, yet perfectly complementary. Where she was lightness, he was grounded resolve. Where she was open grace, he was contained vigilance. He was a coffee cup too, but black and strong, with two bright, intense intense eyes that missed nothing. His arms were always poised, holding gleaming katanas, and a Naruto-style forehead protector adorned his brow, suggesting a disciplined mind. His expression was often serious, a slight frown etched between his eyes, yet when he looked at Ballerina Cappuccino, a barely perceptible softening would occur. He was not an assassin in the way of darkness and fear, for this was a bedtime story. No, Cappuccino Assassino was a protector of the unseen. He assassinated doubt, slew anxiety, and carefully disarmed the little shadows of worry that sometimes tried to creep into Ballerina Cappuccino's heart, threatening to dim her inner light. His katanas were not for battle, but for cutting through confusion, for carving out a safe, tranquil space where her art could flourish undisturbed. He rarely spoke, his presence a quiet rumble, a deep, comforting beat, but his silence was full of meaning. One evening, as Cappuccino practiced a particularly delicate sequence, her latte art swirling with uncertainty, she felt a slight chill, a whisper of doubt that her dance was not enough. Suddenly, a barely audible snick broke the silence. Cappuccino Assassino had swiftly, deftly cut the wisps of shadow from the corner of the studio with his katana, making them vanish into nothingness. He then gave her a subtle nod, his intense eyes conveying a clear message. Your art is safe, your heart is protected, just dance. She understood. He was her anchor, her quiet strength. He was the sturdy cup that held the precious coffee, ensuring its warmth and flavour endured. He was the one who, with ninja-like focus, guarded the sacred space where her lightness could thrive without fear of dissipating. Their love was a dance of its own, hers a flowing melody of joy, his a steadfast rhythm of peace. He loved her lightness, and she his grounding. Part 3. The quest for lasting melody, challenges of expression. Despite the silent reassurance of Cappuccino Assassino, the yearning in Ballerina Cappuccino's heart for her, dance to have a deeper impact, continued to grow. She wanted her movements to do more than just dazzle. She wanted them to nourish the world, to offer comfort like a warm drink on a chilly evening. She tried dancing in new ways. She danced with tremendous energy, hoping to leave a physical mark on the air. But her energy, though vast, still felt ephemeral. She tried to convey stories with her movements, tales of sorrow and joy, but the stories, once told, seemed to fade like distant echoes. The latte art on her head swirled frantically with her efforts, a visual symphony of her inner struggle. Cappuccino, Ballerina. What is missing? She hummed, her voice tinged with a rare note of frustration. One twilight she confessed her heart's dilemma to Cappuccino Assassino. He listened, his intense eyes fixed on her, his katanas resting quietly. He didn't offer grand speeches. Instead, he simply pointed with one katana, not menacingly, but with precise intention, towards the horizon, where the setting sun blended with the rising moon. Balance, he rumbled, his voice a rare, deep sound, between the swiftness of the sun's descent and the steadfastness of the moon's rise, between what is seen and what is felt. He then demonstrated, not with a dance, but with a series of incredibly focused, slow movements, each one deliberate, powerful, yet utterly silent. He showed her how a single step could hold immense weight, how a pause could be as impactful as a leap. He taught her about the presence of an action, not just its speed or flashiness. Your dance is a gift, Ballerina, he murmured, his voice softer now. But gift must be delivered with intention and received with heart. Inspired, Ballerina Cappuccino resolved to seek deeper understanding. She would venture out of her familiar studio, seeking the melodies of the wider world, hoping to find the missing ingredient that would make her dance not just beautiful, but truly nourishing, truly lasting. She knew Cappuccino Assassino would be watching, her ever-present, silent guardian. Part 4. The Symphony of Self. Encounters with fellow dreamers. Her journey began under the watchful eye of Cappuccino Assassino, who, though unseen, moved through the shadows, ensuring her path was clear of any disquieting whispers. Ballerina Cappuccino travelled through lands both familiar and wondrous, seeking the wisdom that would ground her graceful art. Her first significant encounter was on a shimmering, moonlit beach, where the waves whispered ancient tales to the sand. There she saw a most unusual sight, a shark with blue sneakers, taking rhythmic, gentle steps on the shore. It was Tralalero Tralala, the shark who walked. Tralalero, hearing the delicate tinkle of her voice and seeing the unique latte art on her head, paused his rhythmic steps. Cappuccino. Ballerina. He hummed softly, a recognition in his gentle tra-la-la. He saw in her a fellow spirit of delightful duality. Ballerina Cappuccino, captivated by his steady, graceful steps on land, confessed her dilemma. My dance is so light, Tralalero. It feels as if it could simply float away, leaving no lasting trace. How do I make it remain? Tralalero tilted his hard coffee cup head, reflecting the moonlight. Ah, the dance of belonging, he whispered, his fins gently touching his sneakers. I too felt I had to choose, the sea or the land. But I learned that belonging is not choosing one, but embracing both. My steps sing of the land, but my heart still hums with the ocean. Your dance is not just lightness, Ballerina. It is the lightness grounded by intention. Find the rhythm of your steps, not just your leaps. He demonstrated, taking a slow, deliberate step, his sneakers leaving a clear print. This is a memory, he explained, a silent song of presence. Cappuccino watched, mesmerized. She tried to integrate his lesson, taking her own balletic steps, trying to feel the weight of each movement, the lasting imprint, even as her body craved to soar. Her latte art swirled, searching for a new pattern. Subpart 4.2, The Flight of Purpose, Bombadero. As she continued her journey towards the misty hills, a mighty shadow swept across the sky with a majestic whir and a gentle hiss. Bombadero Crocodilo, the crocodile plane, landed near her. His powerful engines hummed a deep, resonant tune, and his riveted eyes gleamed with ancient wisdom. You dance beautifully, little Cappuccino, Bombadero rumbled, his voice a surprising blend of deep growl and mechanical hum. But a dance, like a flight, needs purpose. Are you merely soaring, or are you flying towards something? Ballerina Cappuccino, humbled by his imposing yet gentle presence, shared her desire for her dance to nourish. Bombadero looked at her latte art, a shifting pattern of clouds. Your head is a cup of warmth, a source of comfort. But warmth too must be directed. I, a creature of both ancient earth and limitless sky, learn to channel my power, to make my flight meaningful, carrying stories and dreams across vast distances. Your dance can do the same. It can be a vessel, carrying comfort and hope to distant, waiting hearts. He encouraged her to envision her dance not just as movement, but as an invisible stream of warmth emanating from use her next pirouette with a silent intention to send warmth, and for a fleeting moment her latte art glowed softly. Subpart 4.3, The Ripple of Joy, Trippy Troppy. Her path then led her to a crystal clear mountain stream, where the water danced over smooth pebbles. There she met Trippy Troppy, the catfish with 1,000 colours. He darted and spun in the water, his iridescent whiskers painting ripples of joy wherever he went. "Why so serious, little ballerina?" Trippy chirped, his voice like the tinkling of tiny shells, his colours shimmering with unrestrained glee. "Your movements are perfect, but your heart seems burdened. Where is the laughter in your leaps?" Ballerina Cappuccino, though charmed, explained her quest for lasting meaning. Trippy Troppy, with a burst of turquoise and amber, zigged and zagged around her. Lasting meaning. These are heavy words. What about now? What about the sheer, bubbling joy of movement itself? When you dance with pure, unadulterated delight, that joy creates ripples that last longer than any carefully planned step. Imperfection is beautiful. Spontaneity is life. He inspired her to let go, to laugh, to leap with a wild abandon she hadn't dared before, to infuse her classical grace with unexpected bursts of vibrant colour and playful movements, allowing the natural, unfiltered joy of the moment to guide her. Her latte art swirled in bright, chaotic patterns, reflecting Trippy's energy. She found a new kind of freedom, a lightness that came not from being ethereal, but from being utterly joyful in the present. Part 5. Inner Harmony, The Dance of Two Souls. Ballerina Cappuccino returned to her studio, her heart rich with new understanding, yet a new challenge arose. How to blend Trallalero's grounded steps, Bombardiero's purposeful projection, and Trippy's spontaneous joy with her own delicate grace. Her latte art swirled in a delightful but chaotic blend of patterns. A footprint, a glowing path, a vibrant splash of colour. Beautiful, but not yet a single harmonious design. Her unique coffee head felt more like a symbol of her scattered efforts than her unified self. Cappuccino. Ballerina. How do I become me? She hummed, the question resonating softly. It was that twilight again. Cappuccino Assassino emerged from the lengthening shadows, his katanas gleaming softly. He walked towards her, not with his usual protective intensity, but with a surprising gentleness. He knelt, then carefully, tenderly, placed his strong, dark cup body against her delicate, pink tulle-covered leg. His intense eyes, for once, seemed to gaze inward, reflecting the swirling patterns on her head. "You seek to blend the world's lessons," he murmured, his voice a soft, comforting rumble. "But you forget the essence that already is you. Your grace, your lightness, the warmth within your cup. These are your foundations." He then slowly, deliberately moved his katanas, not to cut shadows, but to gently outline the space around her, creating a circle of tranquil, focused energy. "The purpose of a protector," he explained, "is to allow the protected to be. My purpose is to create the peace for your dance to be authentically yours. Your strength is not in imitating others, but in letting your unique light shine, grounded by your own heart, cherished by your own spirit." He closed his eyes, and a deep, steady hum emanated from him, a silent mantra of presence and unconditional love. And as he hummed, Ballerina Cappuccino closed her eyes too. She listened to the hum, feeling his steady presence. She then listened to the quiet beat of her own frothy heart, and slowly, She was lightness grounded by a love as strong as Cappuccino Assassino's silent watch. She was not just ephemeral. She was ephemeral expressed with purpose, like Bombardiero's flight. She was not just graceful. She was graceful infused with joy, like Trippy's vibrant ripples. And she was not just a dancer, or just a coffee head. She was the harmony that arose from all these elements. When she opened her eyes, the latte art on her head had settled. It was no longer chaotic, but a beautiful, intricate design, a blend of a gentle wave, a soaring wing, a playful splash of colour, all cradled within a serene, comforting swirl. It was her song, her unique expression. Cappuccino, ballerina, cappuccino, she hummed, but this time the melody was complete, whole. Part 6. The Lullaby of Grace, the legend of Ballerina Cappuccino. From that night on, Ballerina Cappuccino no longer sought to be more or less than she was. Her hesitation melted into certainty, her quest for meaning resolved into a profound understanding of her own unique identity. She began to dance, not just in the studio, but wherever her gentle heart led her. Her every movement a soothing melody, a comforting lullaby. Her dance became a living gift, a soft embrace for the weary world. In quiet villages, she danced for those burdened by worries, and her movements, now grounded with intention and radiating warmth, brought a quiet peace that settled over anxious hearts. In bustling towns, she moved through the buzzing crowds, her grace a serene counterpoint to the day's rush, reminding people to pause, breathe, and find their own inner rhythm. Her latte art now shifted with gentle wisdom, reflecting the needs of those around her. She would often dance with tralero tralala, their combined steps a rhythmic blend of groundedness and ethereal grace, creating a walking ballet that spanned beaches and forests, showing how strength could be soft and uniqueness a blessing. Bombardiero Crocodilo, flying high above, would often observe her dance from the clouds, his engines humming a deep, contented tune, knowing she had found her true purpose. And Trippy Troppy would sometimes join her impromptu performances, his vibrant colours adding splashes of pure, unadulterated joy to her elegant movements, ensuring that even profound art always had room for laughter. Word of her spread, carried by the wind and whispered through leaves, like the gentle aroma of coffee on a cool morning. They spoke of the Aussie Ballerina Cappuccino, whose dance was a lullaby for the soul, a soft promise of peace. Her movements, infused with her unique warmth and gentle strength, were said to calm crying babies, mend troubled dreams, and remind restless spirits that true belonging was found not in a single place or identity, but in the harmony of all that they were. Her dance was a warm, comforting hug for the entire world. And though Cappuccino Assassino still watched from the shadows, his katanas ever ready to dispel any whisper of doubt or fear, he knew his greatest victory was not in battles fought, but in the enduring peace and radiant grace of his ballerina. He was the quiet strength that allowed her lightness to soar, and she, the beautiful song that gave his silent watch its profound meaning. And if tonight, as you close your eyes and feel the soft weight of your blanket, you listen very, very closely, you might just hear it, the gentle, rhythmic whisper of her dance, a melody that settles over you like the finest latte art. Cappuccino, ballerina, cappuccino. And perhaps, as you drift